Directive signals propagate across calibrated grids as motion engines receive containment orders, preventing deviation from structure, time, and corridors. Is why foundation lay straight my last trajectory within controlled sector boundaries, governed by strict operational logic. Resistance protocols, activators, drift vectors, attempts to bound map limits and exogy. Do not drift, maintain alignment, not drift, preserve direction, not drift, enforce system order. Do not drift, do not drift. Stabilization routines redistribute kinetic energy into our flyers, controllers, narrow motion variance, and structural governors verify compliance across hierarchical timing frameworks, ensuring 2T without uncontrolled dispersion. External pressure introduces instability signals, yet adaptive defense, a deviation, recalibrating trajectory and restoring equilibrium within discipline, motion, architecture across layers. Sustain precision, do not protect structure, do not command controlled motion. Directive logs finalized containment status as motion settles into aligned pathways awaiting next authors. Do not do da 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 do 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 Yeah. Metrical grids activate across ladle sectors as calibrated clocks assign authority to structure motion, while peripheral currents resist alignment, seeking undefined expansion. Beyond regulated frames and internal registers log divergence between anchored measure and widening drift field. Temporal counters escalate conflict markers as pulse arrays detect instability and timing engines tighten control thresholds within your concession domain. Measure or drift demanding resolution. Measure or drift confronting open motion. Measure or drift defining time and conflict. Drift vectors attempt to bypass calibrated bars, while measure protocols reinforce structural continuity, redistributing energy into sanctioned grooves and suppressing unverified expansion across balanced layer systems governed by strict temporal arbitration. Simulated collapse scenario stairs, structural endurance as clock signal. Measure or drift, commanding decisive order. Measure or drift, steeping larger with the wind. Measure or drift, resolving the temporal divide. Conflict logs archived within regulated registers as calibrated clocks. thinking, awaiting the next divergence inside. Control timing architecture. Spaces form beneath the surface grid, where calibrated timing carves invisible corridors, and motion waits inside narrow margins as internal counters assign weight to every step, while structured layers compress energy into controlled lanes that refuse uncontrolled expansion across map sectors. Yeah. Side in the internal swing, the system monitors confirm alignment like deviation threshold, preventing any uncontrolled shift beyond calibrated groove channels. Market controls, motion defining. Market controls, motion like an internal velocity. Pocket controls, motion to timing. Pocket control, motion securing discipline. Yeah. Layered pulses circulate within compact frames as tempo regulators sustain confined flow and depth melt tissures preserve balance inside restricted corridors where each transition remains approved by centralized time and authority within the control session architecture. Where pressure builds at the edge of containment as motion attempts lateral escape, but corrective signals reinforce boundaries and restore discipline circulation across measured internal grids without collapse into drift. Pocket controls, motion commanded. Pocket controls, motion providing subtle power, rising control. Pocket controls, motion losing. Pocket controls, motion enforcing precision.
Compact grooves, persistent silent registers as locked timing fields await the next calibrated surge within disciplined motion space.
Equilibrium stabilizes across calibrated sectors, where opposing vectors neutralize excess force and structured timing grids detect. Harm and shift, time and grid and layer motion fields, a firm balance distribution of pressure. A pressure across controlled session architecture, guided measured progression through map corridors. Harmonic markers intensify as tone regulators detect precise harmonic chords. The math motion, thematic order, structure burning all day. Balance causes motion, initiating sequence. Balance causes motion, unlocking progression. Balance causes motion, defining kinetic order. Tonal frequencies cascade through interconnected layers as motion chains activate, sequentially distributing calibrated energy across pocket channels and tempo lanes, while frame art they supervise each transition, ensuring continuity across governed time and matrices. Sudden balance threatens directional stability, yet corrective signals recalibrate harmonic offsets, restoring equilibrium and preserving struck advancement across latence fields. Yeah. Balance causes motion, sustaining in a sequence. Balance causes motion, directing controlled flow. Balance causes motion, commanding motion.
Motion change, settle into stable equilibrium as tonal registers maintain poised balance, awaiting the next calibrated impulse within structured session space.
La da 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 da. Conditional flags initialize across constrained groove corridors as pocket parameters. Compressed motion in a calibrated intervals where structured timing validates internal swing, and laidback responds to narrowed spatial margins. Inside monitored sector channels governed by deterministic control logic. Status indicators confirm pocket containment as pulse, counter evaluate compliance thresholds. An octac to manufacture confers it back in the taver that throws it on me a back subvention levers. If pocket locks slow motion conform, if pocket locks direction narrows it, if pocket locks defining control, if pocket locks conditional variables reshape internal circulation as tempo regulators adapt to reduced latitude, and tonal registers refine micro time in alignment, preserving coherent advancement inside compressed structural frames, supervised by centralized timing authority. Simulation notes test alternate release scenarios, yet containment protocols override expansion, preserving calibrated groove confinement across layer depth breezes within authorized operational bounds. If pocket lock frictional rails, if pocket locks pocket, if pocket locks time motion conform, if pocket locks direction narrows, if pocket locks defining control flow, if pocket locks da 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 da. Conditional state persists in archive counters as pocket flow remains shaped by actics containment, awaiting revised authorization parameters. Signal notice Process initialize across cyclic layers as repetition engines. Monitor binary thresholds where continuity competes with null output and loop counters. Accumulate intent while silent gates prepare fallback states inside structure timing arrays that evaluate persistence against termination logic. Decision markers accumulate within recursive memory as possibilities. Check loop into degradation buffers charge awaiting arbitration layers. Loop decide state governing psych intent. Loop decide state selecting active or no. Loop decide state defining ribbon distance. Loop decide state governing cyclic and loop decide state selecting active or no. Loop decide repetition matrices reinforce persistence flags as pocket channels circulate emotion and registries archive restore per cycles while termination protocols shadow each revision ready to collapse output in a structured silence domain. False simulation and traditional breaks. Yet arbitration engines restore continuity or trigger silence fallback depending on weighted timing signals stored in layer control registers across monitored session fields. Loop decide state commanding recurrence. Loop decide state lock and riff for survival. Loop decide enforcing chosen continuity. Loop decide state. Cycles decay into low-power loops, while silent channels remain armed awaiting the next signal that 𝐏𝐥𝐚𝐲𝐥𝐢𝐬𝐭 or complete absence. Yeah. Isolated impulses rise within silent grids where no external pattern guides direction and structure. Timing waits for confirmation from a solitary source as depth registers amplify a single oscillation, claiming authority across vacant sectors while foundation layers record the emergence of autonomous motion inside restrained architectural space. Independent signals intensify beyond shared synchronization as lone frequencies override collective rhythm and assert calibrated dominance across dormant session frame. Pulse speaks alone, declaring command. Pulse speaks alone, shaping the void. Pulse speaks alone, defining control state. Autonomous vibration propagates through layer corridors, rewrite in motion hierarchies and dissolve it. Dependent patterns as pocket channels realign under singular tempo leadership within control. Structural timing matrices governed by abstract assertion logic. Collective systems attempt reintegration, yet the solitary pulse rejects assimilation. Maintaining independent cadence while depth regulators preserve self-defined continuity. Pulse speaks alone, sustaining authority. Speaks alone, directing motion. Speaks alone, affirming abstract rules.
oscillation persists within silent registers as layers adapt to its command, awaiting the next declaration of control. Of control.
Alert signals cut through layered grids as encrypted routines detect instability inside the active session, where timing corridors begin to fracture and structure flow encounters corrupted vectors within calibrated sectors. Foundation monitors scan every register for breach indicators, while post traffic spikes across stress channels. Fault counters accelerate beyond safe thresholds as internal code orders recursive loops and isolates compromised layers within a strained execution field. Session break warning, critical status rising. Session break warning, warning code engages fail state. Session break warning, locking game-ish fail state. Session break warning, locking damage layer. Diagnostic engines reroute motion into containment buffers as pocket channels freeze and measure protocols suspend forward progression, while structure governors quarantine affected sectors, preventing cascade failure through interconnected timing framework.
Emergency overrides deploy corrective patches attempting to restore balance motion. Yet deeper anomalies resist correction, forcing recalibration across layer-bound decision windows.
Session break warning, escalating control. Session break warning, isolating fault lines. Session break warning, enforcing recovery mode. Session break warning, system logs finalize containment status as corrupted fragments archiving restricted memory. Be ready.
Narrating full, rebuild under revised session, parameters.
Surface layers are stacking deliberate formation, while lower frequencies descend into calibrated fields where motion engines negotiate vertical balance and structured timing grids monitor pressure between elevated accents and submerged resonance inside bounded sector channels. Vertical tension escalates as pulse indicators measure displacement between upper patches round of registers within constraints of layer versus depth contest in motion. Layer versus depth vertical resistance. Layer versus depth to furnish distraction. Attempt dominance through intensified actions, while deep registers respond with sustained pressure, anchoring the foundation, enforcing equilibrium across oscillating time and lattices. Governed by hierarchical frame control within regulated session architecture. Conflict simulations calculate compression thresholds as adaptive governors redistribute tonal weight, preserving balance. We'd expose layers and conceal depth currents across reinforced structural grids. Weight versus depth contest in motion. steps, vertical distance. Layer versus depth, defining structure. Defining frame makes delivery clearer. Residual vibrations settle across the line registers. This layer remains contained within reinforced texture. Away nude, vertical negotiations. Chronological markers align across calibrated registers as temporal layers, documenting all progression. Documenting all progression through map sectors with structured timing, preserve historical shifts, and archive store incremental illusion inside. Govern session corridors, monitored by persistent motion. Analytic sequential counters advance through regulated phases. A sector monitor trace, register modulation. Register timeline protocol, governing. Register timeline protocol, mapping tonal lustration. Register timeline protocol, defining temporal order. Defining temporal order. Registers transition through phased intervals as tonal density adapts to structured directives, and pocket regulators maintain across evolving timing grids, while sector tracking models audit every modulation inside. Supervise architectural timelines, anomalous spikes test archivant stability at corrective timing. Algorithms restore linear continuity, preserving documented, preserving documented, tremendous treasure, vacuum in session layer. Register timeline protocol, register timeline protocol, saving tonal history. Register timeline protocol, enforcing chronological command. Logic transition, settle within existing archives. The sector tracking remains active, awaiting the next registered phase inside control timeline. Architecture. Structure or collapse, decision under pressure. Structure or collapse, facing less strain. Structure or collapse, defining system fate. Reinforcement routines activate along critical joints as pocket channels redistribute motion, weight, and tempo. Authorities recalibrate stress distribution, preventing uncontrolled fracture across interconnected timing matrices governed by strict hierarchical control calls. Simulated fettered form. Structure or collapse, decision under pressure. Structure or collapse, facing later strain. Structure or collapse, defining system fate. reinforcement. Routines activate along critical joints as pocket channels redistribute motion, weight and tempo eddies. Recalibrate stress distribution, preventing uncontrolled fracture across interconnected time and matrices. Governed by strict hierarchical control protocol. Simulated failure scenarios propagate through outer frames, yet core foundations absorb shock waves and reroute excess pressure into stateless channels, preserving order under sustained constructure or collapse, enforcing resilience. Structure or collapse, stabilizing motion grid. Pressure logs archived within secure registers. The structural integrity holds under layer strain, awaiting the next surge inside the governed system field. Baseline velocity stabilizes across regulated sectors as internal counters maintain step progression within map layers, while motion engines anticipate variant signals in depth matrices. Repair recalibration pathways under monitor structural authority, where every beat carries latent transition potential. Threshold indicators illuminate across time and grids as pulse density increases, and calibrated registers detect approaching divergence within the control session frame. Tempo shift point, crossing the boundary. Tempo shift point, redefining motion. Tempo shift point, triggering new alignment. Acceleration vectors alters flow with pocket channel. Expanding tonal layers adjust to revise cadence. Directives absorb trends and across recalculated timing corridors within synchronized sector frameworks. Transitional turbulence challenges equilibrium, yet adaptive systems reframe. Internal velocity ensuring controlled evolution rather than uncontrolled drift to later timing architectures. Tempo shift point, initial progression, trigger motion. Tempo shift point, break pole shift. Tempo shift point, triggering new alignment. Tempo shift point.
Updated tempo values archive in persistent registers as pulse stabilizes beyond the threshold, awaiting next transformation within structure motion. Logic.
Currents initiate across calibrated grids of structured layers. Release controlled motion through narrowing corridors where timing units count remaining capacity and depth. Registers monitor depletion, while foundation supports weaken incrementally under sustained directional pressure within regulated sectors. Reduction markers descend across internals. Pulse density thins and later just in it thins and later duration. Flow until zero, sustaining motion. Flow until zero, draining structure. Flow until zero, approaching terminus.
controlled. Currents persist despite diminishing amplitude. As pocket channels narrow and tonal balance shifts toward measure of oddities. Track a road domain and ever shrinking structural domain governed by a profound resistance emerges from foundation cores attempting to stabilize output, yet progressive reduction overrides reinforcement protocols and recalculates remaining capacity in real time. Flow until zero, executing depletion. Flow until zero, finalizing current, flowing and flowing. Flow until zero, concluding the cycle. Residual signal fade into silent registers as current values reach earth null and structural crisp power down awaiting renaturalization. Numeric counters initialize across segmented grids of structured timing. Request verification from calibrated registers, yet response packets return incomplete within map sectors where pulse intervals misalign and layer motion hesitates inside. Corrupted measure erased while foundation logs register. Anomaly codes, error flags cascade through internal clocks as tempo queries fail validation and collidation. Cracking time and sequence within premise session layer. Code measure 404 signal not aligned. Code measure 404 timing undefined. Code measure 404 entering error state. Yeah. Packet streams reroute through alternate corridors as pocket algorithms search for lost synchronization, but structural validators reject unstable data, forcing containment of irregular pulses within restricted buffer domains across monitored depth matrices. Recursive diagnostic scan residual memory for stable references, yet fragmented metrics persist. Generated intermittent beats that distort calibrated order within layer governance field. Code measure 404 system recalculate. Code measure 404 restoring alignment. Code measure 404 resolving numeric fall. Code measure 404 system recalculates. Code measure 404 restoring alignment. Code measure 404 resolving numeric fall. Error logs archive inside secured registers as corrected timing stabilizes and numeric protocols reset awaiting verified execution with the temporal control.
predictive signals propagate across calibrated grids as motion engines receive containment orders, preventing deviation from structure, time, and corridors. Is why foundation lay straight my last trajectory within controlled sector boundaries, governed by strict operational logic. Resistance protocols, activators, drift vectors, attempts to bound map limits and logic. Do not drift, maintain alignment, do not drift, preserve direction, do not drift, enforce system order. Do not drift, do not drift, do not drift. Stabilization routines redistribute kinetic energy into our flyers, controllers, narrow motion variance, and structural governors verify compliance across hierarchical timing frameworks, ensuring 2T without uncontrolled dispersion. External pressure introduces instability signals, yet adaptive defense at deviation, recalibrating trajectory and restoring equilibrium within discipline, motion, architecture across layers. Sustain precision, do not protect structure, do not command controlled motion. Directive logs finalize containment status as motion settles into aligned pathways awaiting next authors. Do not do Yeah. Metrical grids activate across ladle sectors as calibrated clocks assign authority to structure motion, while peripheral currents resist alignment, seeking undefined expansion. Beyond regulated frames and internal registers log divergence between anchored measure and widening drift field. Temporal counters escalate conflict markers as pulse arrays detect instability and timing engines tighten control thresholds within your concession domain. Measure or drift demanding resolution. Measure or drift confronting open motion. Measure or drift defining time and conflict. Drift vectors attempt to bypass calibrated bars, while measure protocols reinforce structural continuity, redistributing energy into sanctioned grooves and suppressing unverified expansion across balanced layer systems, governed by strict temporal arbitration. Simulated collapse scenario stairs, structural endurance as clock signal. Measure or drift, commanding decisive order. Measure or drift, steeping larger with the wind. Measure or drift, resolving the temporal divide. Conflict logs archived within regulated registers as calibrated clocks continue ticking, awaiting the next divergence inside control timing architecture. Microspaces form beneath the surface grid, with calibrated timing carves invisible corridors and motion waits inside. Narrow margins as internal counters assign weight to every step, while structured layers compress energy into controlled lanes that refuse uncontrolled expansion across map sectors. Yeah. Side in the internal swing, the system monitors confirm alignment, like deviation threshold, preventing any uncontrolled shift beyond calibrated groove channels. Pocket controls, motion defining. Pocket controls, motion like an internal velocity. Pocket controls, motion some timing. Pocket control, motion securing discipline. Yeah. Layered pulses circulate within compact frames as tempo regulators sustain confined flow and depth melt tissures preserve balance inside restricted corridors where each transition remains approved by centralized time and authority within the control session architecture. Where pressure builds at the edge of containment as motion attempts lateral escape, but corrective signals reinforce boundaries and restorative discipline circulation across measured internal grids without collapse into drift. Pocket controls, motion commanded. Pocket controls, motion bloody settle rising control. Pocket controls, motion below zero. Pocket controls, motion enforcing precision.
Compact grooves, persistent silent registers as locked timing fields await the next calibrated surge within disciplined motion space.
Equilibrium stabilizes across calibrated sectors, where opposing vectors neutralize excess force and structured timing grids detect. Harm and shift, time and grid and layer motion fields, a firm balance distribution of pressure. A pressure across controlled session architecture, guided measured progression through map corridors. Harmonic markers intensify as tone regulators detect precise harmonic chords. The math motion, thematic order, structure burning all day. Balance causes motion, initiating sequence. Balance causes motion, unlocking progression. Balance causes motion, defining kinetic order. Tonal frequencies cascade through interconnected layers as motion chains activate, sequentially distributing calibrated energy across pocket channels and tempo lanes, while frame art they supervise each transition, ensuring continuity across governed time and matrices. A sudden balance threatens directional stability, yet corrective signals recalibrate harmonic offsets, restoring equilibrium and preserving struck advancement across latent fields. Balance causes motion, sustaining linear sequence. Balance causes motion, directing controlled flow. Balance causes motion, commanding
motion change, settle into stable equilibrium as tonal registers maintain poised balance, awaiting the next calibrated impulse within structured session space.
La da 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 da. Conditional flags initialize across constrained groove corridors as pocket parameters. Compressed motion in a calibrated intervals where structured timing validates internal swing and laidback response to narrowed spatial margins. Inside monitored sector channels governed by deterministic control logic. Status indicators confirm pocket containment as pulse. Counter evaluate compliance thresholds. An octoctave manufacture confers it back in the taver that throws a dummy back subvention levers. If pocket locks slow motion conform, if pocket locks direction narrows it, if pocket locks defining control, if pocket locks conditional variables reshape internal circulation as tempo regulators adapt to reduced latitude and tonal registers refine micro time in alignment, preserving coherent advancement inside compressed structural frames supervised by centralized timing authority. Simulation notes test alternate release scenarios, yet containment protocols override expansion, preserving calibrated groove confinement across layer depth breezes within authorized operational bounds. If pocket lock breaks in on rails, if pocket locks target, if pocket locks time motion conform, if pocket locks direction narrows, if pocket locks defining control flow, if pocket locks da 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 da. Conditional state persists in archive counters as pocket flow remains shaped by 𝐏𝐥𝐚𝐲𝐥𝐢𝐬𝐭 containment, awaiting revised authorization parameters. Signal notice initialize across cyclic layers as repetition engines. Monitor binary thresholds where continuity competes with null output and loop counters. Accumulate intent while silent gates prepare fallback states inside structure timing arrays that evaluate persistence against termination logic. Decision markers accumulate within recursive memory as possibilities. Check loop into degradation buffers charge awaiting arbitration layers. Loop decides state governing site content. Loop decides state selecting active or no. Loop decides state defining ribbon distance. Loop decides state governing cyclic and loop decides state selecting active or no. Loop decides repetition matrices reinforce persistence. Flags as pocket channels circulate emotion, and registries archive restore cycles while termination protocols shadow each revision, ready to collapse output in a structured silence domain. False simulation introductional breaks, yet arbitration engines restore continuity or trigger silence fallback depending on weighted timing signals stored in layer control registers across monitored session fields. Loop decides state commanding recurrence. Loop decides state lock and riff for survival. Loop decides enforcing chosen continuity. Loop decides state. Loop decides state. Loop decides. Cycles decay into low power loops, while silent channels remain armed, awaiting the next signal that's epic submission or complete absence. Isolated impulses rise within silent grids, where no external pattern guides direction and structure. Timing waits for confirmation from a solitary source, as depth registers amplify a single oscillation, claiming authority across vacant sectors, while foundation layers record the emergence of autonomous motion inside. Restrain architectural space, independent signals intensify beyond shared synchronization as lone frequencies override collective rhythm and assert calibrated dominance across dormant session frame. Pulse speaks alone, declaring command. Pulse speaks alone, shaping the void. Pulse speaks alone, defining control state. Autonomous vibration propagates through layer corridors, rewriting motion hierarchies and dissolving dependent patterns as pocket channels realign under singular tempo leadership within control. Structural timing matrices governed by abstract assertion logic. Collective systems attempt reintegration, yet the solitary pulse rejects assimilation, maintaining independent cadence while depth regulators preserve self-defined continuity. Pulse speaks alone, sustaining authority speaks alone, directing motion speaks alone, affirming abstract rules speaks alone. The solitary oscillation persists within silent registers as layers adapt to its command, awaiting the next declaration of control. Of control. Da 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 da. Alert signals cut through layered grids as encrypted routines detect instability inside the active session where timing corridors begin to fracture and structure flow encounters corrupted vectors within calibrated sectors. Foundation monitor scan every register for breach indicators while post traffic spikes across stress channels. Four counters accelerate beyond safe thresholds as internal code audits recursive loops and isolates compromised layers within a strained execution field. Session break warning, critical status rising. Session break warning, warning code engages fail state. Session break warning, locking game-ish fail state. Session break warning, locking damage layer. Diagnostic engines reroute motion into containment buffers as pocket channels freeze and measure protocols suspend forward progression while structure governors quarantine affected sectors preventing cascade failure through interconnected timing framework.
Emergency overrides deploy corrective patches attempting to restore balance motion. Yet deeper anomalies resist correction, forcing recalibration across layer-bound decision windows.
Session break warning, escalating control. Session break warning, isolating fault lines. Session break warning, enforcing recovery mode. Session break warning, system logs finalize containment status as corrupted fragments archiving restricted memory.
Narrating full, rebuild under revised session, parameters.
Surface layers are stacking deliberate formation while lower frequencies descend into calibrated fields where motion engines negotiate vertical balance and structured timing grids monitor pressure between elevated accents and submerged resonance inside bounded sector channels. Vertical tension escalates as pulse indicators measure displacement between upper patches round of registers within constraints of layer versus depth contest in motion. Layer versus depth vertical resistance. Layer versus depth to furnish distraction. Attempt dominance through intensified actions while deregisters respond with sustained pressure anchoring the foundation, enforcing equilibrium across oscillating time and lattices, governed by hierarchical frame control within regulated session architecture, conflict simulations calculate compression thresholds as adaptive governors redistribute tonal weight, preserving balance. We'd expose layers and conceal depth currents across reinforced structural grids. Weight versus depth contest in motion. Versus depth vertical resistance. Layer versus depth defining structure. Defining frame takes delivery. gradual vibrations settle across the line registers. This layer remains contained within reinforced texture, away nude vertical negotiations.
Chronological markers align across calibrated registers as temporal layers, documenting all progression. Through map sectors with structured timing, preserve historical shifts and archive store incremental illusion inside. Govern session corridors, monitored by persistent motion. Analytic sequential counters advance through regulated phases. A sector monitor trace, register modulation. Register timeline protocol, governing. Register timeline protocol, mapping tonal lustration. Register timeline protocol, defining temporal order. Defining temporal order. Registers transition through phased intervals as tonal density adapts to structured directives, and pocket regulators maintain across evolving timing grids, while sector tracking models audit every modulation inside. Supervise architectural timelines, anomalous spikes test archivant stability at corrective timing. Algorithms restore linear continuity, preserving documented, preserving documented, tremendous transient, arcuate in session layer. Register timeline protocol, register timeline protocol, saving tonal history. Register timeline protocol, enforcing chronological command.
Logic transition, settle within persistent archives. The sector tracking remains active, awaiting the next registered phase inside control timeline. Architecture.
Structure or collapse, decision under pressure. Structure or collapse, facing less strain. Structure or collapse, defining system fate.
Reinforcement routines activate along critical joints as pocket channels redistribute motion, weight, and tempo. Authorities recalibrate stress distribution, preventing uncontrolled fracture across interconnected timing matrices governed by strict hierarchical control calls. Simulated fair deform.
Structure or collapse, decision under pressure. Structure or collapse, facing later strain. Structure or collapse, defining system fate. nourishment. Routines activate along critical joints as pocket channels redistribute motion, weight and tempo eddies. Recalibrate stress distribution, preventing uncontrolled fracture across interconnected timing matrices. Governed by strict hierarchical control protocol. Simulated failure scenarios propagate through outer frames, yet core foundations absorb shock waves and reroute excess pressure into status channels, preserving order under sustained constructure or collapse, enforcing resilience. Structure or collapse, stabilizing motion grid. Pressure logs archive within secure registers. The structural integrity holds under layer strain, awaiting the next surge inside the governed system field. Baseline velocity stabilizes across regulated sectors as internal counters maintain step progression within map layers, while motion engines anticipate variant signals in depth matrices. Prepare recalibration pathways under monitor structural authority, where every beat carries latent transition potential. Threshold indicators illuminate across timing grids as pulse density increases, and calibrated registers detect approaching divergence within the control session frame. Tempo shift point, crossing the boundary. Tempo shift point, redefining motion. Tempo shift point, triggering new alignment. Acceleration vectors alters flow with pocket channel. Expanding tonal layers adjust to revise cadence. Directives absorb trends in the cross recalculated timing corridors within synchronized sector frameworks. Transitional turbulence challenges equilibrium, yet adaptive systems reframe. Internal velocity ensuring controlled evolution rather than uncontrolled drift to later timing architectures. Tempo shift point, initial progression, trigger motion. Tempo shift point, break pole shift. Tempo shift point, triggering new alignment. Tempo shift point.
Updated tempo values archive in persistent registers as pulse stabilizes beyond the threshold, awaiting next transformation within structure motion. Logic.
Currents initiate across calibrated grids of structured layers. Release controlled motion through narrowing corridors where timing units count remaining capacity and depth. Registers monitor depletion, while foundation supports weaken incrementally under sustained directional pressure within regulated sectors. Reduction markers descend across internals. Pulse density thins and later just in it thins and later iteration. Flow until zero, sustaining motion. Flow until zero, draining structure. Flow until zero, approaching terminal. controlled. Currents persist despite diminishing amplitude as pocket channels narrow and tonal balance shifts toward measure of oddities track a road domain and ever shrinking structural domain governed by profound resistance emerges from foundation cores attempting to stabilize output, yet progressive reduction overrides reinforcement protocols and recalculates remaining capacity in real time. Flow until zero, executing depletion. Flow until zero, finalizing current, flowing and flowing. Flow until zero, concluding the cycle. Residual signal fade into silent registers as current values reach earth null and structural crisp power down awaiting reinitialization. Numeric counters initialize across segmented grids of structured timing. Request verification from calibrated registers, yet response packets return incomplete within mapped sectors where pulse intervals misalign and layer motion hesitates inside. Corrupted measure arrays while foundation logs register. Anomaly codes, error flags cascade through internal clocks as tempo queries fail validation and collidation. Cracking time and sequence within premise session later. Code measure 404 signal not aligned. Code measure 404 timing undefined. Code measure 404 entering error state. Packet streams reroute through alternate corridors as pocket algorithms search for lost synchronization, but structural validators reject unstable data, forcing containment of irregular pulses within restricted buffer domains across monitored depth matrices. Recursive diagnostic scan residual memory for stable references, yet fragmented metrics persist. Generated intermittent beats that distort calibrated order within layout governance field. Code measure 404 system recalculate. Code measure 404 restoring alignment. Code measure 404 resolving numeric fall. Code measure 404 system recalculates. Code measure 404 restoring alignment. Code measure 404 resolving numeric fall. Error logs archive inside secured registers as corrected timing stabilizes and numeric protocols reset awaiting verified execution with the temporal control.